Nicky, thanks very much for dropping in today. As you can see, the two blackcurrant bushes here, probably closer than you would otherwise ideally plant, need a bit of pruning. And I just really wanted to ask your advice, and maybe you might show us. I know old wood and new wood is what people talk about with blackcurrants.
Yeah.
So what do you see in front of you?
well, obviously you've had them for a few years and you've done a bit of pruning, but like a lot of people, you haven't been terribly brave, and you've left a lot of the old wood. So I'm afraid we're going to need to do a bit of damage here.
All right,
we'll
bit of surgery.
Yes, a bit of the old wood out, just to open up the centre of the bushes and allow in some light and air, so that you don't get a build up of pests and diseases, and it's actually easier to pick the fruit then. And at the same time, you want to prune back about, as I say, about a third of the old wood out each year to an outward facing bud.
This is old wood, I suppose.
Yes, the darker wood.
Darker.
This light wood here, all these bits grew last year, you see. So there's
light
some
brown.
lovely, big, strong young shoots here. But some of the little shoots like this that are on older wood, even though they will produce a small amount of fruit next year, really they're not worth keeping, because what you wanted to do is renew these lovely, big, long, new young shoots here, which that's grown from right down there, you see, because you pruned to there. So that's what you want. But again, then also you want to get rid of any snags, any little bits like this that have died back because it's actually pruned too far away from the bud. Do you see there? And that's died back. That'll just promote disease and rotting. In a couple of years you might get something called coral spot on that, which can then spread to the whole bush, because it will actually rot it. So what you want to do, basically, I think I've just broken it, haven't I?
It's on old wood anyway.
Yeah. Well, it just depends. You don't want to give the bush too much of a shock.
Yeah.
You can take about a third out every year if you need to do it really drastically. But in the summer, the ideal way really to pick them, which I do, it's much easier than trying to remember to do something twice a year and saves an awful lot of time, is actually to just prune the branches out that have the most fruit on, and then take them inside and do it in comfort, sitting at the kitchen table on a chair.
I like that idea. Okay.
Great.
All right, so you just want to be left with light brown new wood.
As much as possible, yes, without sort of totally denuding the bush. You've got lots of nice new shoots coming up here, so they've obviously been fed really well with some nice compost. And you want to open up the centre of the bush, take out a few of the weaker ones that might be sort of growing across, and just crowding in the middle there.
All right,
so shall we
let's go to it.
Yes. Yeah. Right, okay, so I think possibly what we'll do first is take out any dead, diseased or crowding and crossing branches. I mean, this is one here which really isn't
going nowhere.
Yeah, that's actually going nowhere, but what you can do, you see there's a little bud down here at the bottom, and you'll just prune that back to there.
Right, sir.
Yeah. And there's another one here, I think, which possibly ought to be pruned back a little bit. Really, because it's actually crowding.
I pull it back. Crowding,
the centre of the bush here. It's a lovely big strong shoot, but it's actually, you've got
there's a bud there.
A bud there, but that's growing into the middle of the bush, which you don't want.
You want a bud going out.
Yeah.
So.
And prune as close to the bud as you can, if possible, sloping it slightly away from the bud, so you don't get a collection of water actually in the top. Again here, I would be tempted to take out this one here.
This one.
Sorry about this, Trevor.
No, it has to be done. Don't feel any
I'm
sympathy.
Very cruel. But that's it again, and there's a little bud which will grow out this way. There's a gap here, so hopefully that bud will grow out nicely. Now I'll get the smaller secateurs here, because this is actually better for doing this job. A smaller, This is growing right out into the centre of the bush. You don't want that, so you prune back this to there.
Okay.
Lots of nice firewood for later on.
Exactly.
This is a very weak shoot, which actually isn't going to do anything. If we can get at that, prune it right back down to here. You don't want him, because he's going to grow up and get bigger next year. Again, crowd the centre of the bush. Right. And this one actually, same, if I can get at it. And that one. So it does seem fairly drastic, but if you feed these bushes really well, all these lower buds now will actually come up again, and this again is another one here. Can I have those big jobbies there? Yeah. And it's growing into the other bush, and you really don't want it But there's a nice bud you can see growing out here, so I'll cut it back to there.
Right, now that bud isn't quite going out, but it's not going in either.
No, it will come out this way, you see, because now it's got light to come out this way. Yeah, it will. It'll grow strongly towards
So essentially,
the light.
as you were saying earlier, you think of it like your hand. You want the fingers going out,
you
not growing up through your palm.
An open kind of cup-shaped bush, like that.
Bush. Okay.
So you've got the centre open. There's lots of other little bits and pieces here, which you'll need to take out. Do you want me to do this entire bush, or?
Well, sure. Tell me where to go, and I'll start doing it.
Lots of There's just the little. Now this one again.
So that's too weak there.
Yeah, well, it's a crowded one, Trevor. So
right.
It's growing, but you need to take it right back to the stem there. It's getting at them.
Yeah.
This is the thing, you see. Getting at them is the problem.
It's too crowded.
Yeah, if it's too crowded.